Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my patio. Yes, we're outside today and hopefully the wind that's outside won't be too much of a hindrance for us and hopefully you won't hear that. But we've got a storm blowing in, so I wanted to get this done this morning before it comes in. I have some updates to give you on my patio. I've got some brand new things that I want to show you, brand new plants and pots, but I also want to give you an update on some things that I've repotted, some things that I propagated, and that I promised you guys I would keep you updated on how they're doing, okay? So let's get to it. Okay, so let's start off with what's new. I've got some new succulents that I want to share with you that I received from the Next Gardener. I've done some videos for them before. I've used their succulents and cacti before when I made the succulent Christmas tree, and I also have quite a few of their pots. So they sent me a wonderful Mother's Day gift of some succulent, a cacti, and a couple of pots. So let me show you that. First thing I want to show you are these adorable little baby toes. I'll put the actual name on the screen here. I know it starts with an F and I just can't remember it right now, but look how full this pot is. It does need to be watered. I've let it dry out quite a bit because I've had these before. I think I purchased them from like a Lowe's or something, really like a little 2-inch pot, and it didn't make it because I overwatered it. So this time around, I'm going to be extra careful. Now I know that this has grown some since I got it because the ones in the center that you can see that they're kind of sticking out, those were not like that when I got it. And they have these little windows right at the very tip of their stems, leaves, I guess you could call it, that it's like a little window, and that is where the sunlight comes in and the whole, chlorophyll transaction takes place and everything. So these are just doing wonderful, these little baby toes. And this is the pot that it came in. I haven't repotted it or anything like that. Just have it out here in my patio and just watering it sparingly, but it's due for a watering today. Now, they also sent me a little cacti. This little Mexican fence post cactus I put into this little elephant pot that I had thrifted at a Goodwill. Now, I will tell you that this does not have a drainage hole, and you say, Carmen, what are you doing planting a cactus in something that doesn't have a drainage hole? A couple of reasons. One, I really wanted to use the pot, and the 2-inch nursery pot wouldn't fit into the opening, okay? And I didn't want to drain a hole in this because I may want to use it later on for the actual use it was for, which was lucky bamboo. So this one also I have been watering very, very carefully, and it's ready for watering. I've had these, for about a month. I got them around Mother's Day. So I just thought this looked so cute here in this little elephant planter. So that's the Mexican fence post that they sent me. Now they sent me some larger pots, and I went ahead and put some philodendrons in them. This is a cutting of my philodendron burl marks, a second cutting that I had been propagating, and I love it in this Monstera Leaf Pot. And I'll link these down below to their website. Those are affiliate links, so they do help me out. But this little Monstera Leaf Pot is so cute, and it's heavy. It is like a cement made. So it's nice and firm and solid. It's not going to blow over anywhere out here in my patio. But I think this burl marks cutting loves the humidity out here, and it's doing really well. So that's the Monstera Leaf one. And then this one here, Not sure what these leaves are, maybe anthuriums, but this is the second pot they sent me. And I put in here, I've had this for a long time, and it's been on the struggle bus, off the struggle bus, back on the struggle bus. Right now it's off. This is my Philodendron Royal Queen. And I have her outside here in the patio because she seems to just like it better out here in the humidity and the morning sun. Every time I try to take her inside, even under a grow light, she doesn't do well. Leaves drop, gets all wiry and everything. So I said, okay, you're going out in the patio. And I went ahead and took her out of the nursery pot. She graduated finally out of the nursery pot, and I put her into this pot here. Again, it's also made out of like a cement. And like I said, I'm not sure what those leaves are, maybe anthuriums. We'll just go with anthurium. So I'll leave a link for this down below also, but she's doing well. I mean, the leaves aren't huge, but she's alive. That's all I can ask of her, you know? Now, in my last video, I showed you the orchid I had gotten at Lowe's. Was it Lowe's? No, Walmart. The Phalaenopsis orchid I got at Walmart, and it's doing great. Here is the pot. I got this pot at a thrift store, and it is a vintage orchid pot, and she's in some very, very chunky mix that I got at Lowe's. This mix comes not only with the orchid bark, the wood bark, but also some charcoal and some perlite, really thick perlite. So she's doing really well in here. I mean, she's only been in here a week, but so far she hasn't even lost any petals or anything. And still blooming. She's still got some unopened blooms there, but the leaves are looking good. And I have her outside. She's out here in my patio on my potting bench. And I really love this pot. This looks like somebody made it. And I don't see anything on the bottom, but it looks like somebody made it. I just love mixing that vintage style with my plants, whether it be a plant stand or in this case a pot. So she goes right up here. The other thing I wanted to show you is this Echeveria. Now this here is the main mother plant that was growing here. It was growing long. You can kind of see still that it was growing rather long there. I cut it off, and look what happened to the main stump that was left. It has all these little rosettes growing out of it. And that's what happens to Echeverias when you cut them and they have this type of stem on them. They grow all these little rosettes on them. This one's still a little bit, you know, kind of reaching, but I just thought it was so cool. I wanted to show you guys all the little rosettes that were growing on there. And this is a very small neon breakers that has given off a little stem there, little pup. See that? So yeah, I thought that was really cool. I love it when that happens. I don't want to drop this. The other update I want to give you, this is the vert planter with my Rex begonias that I had potted up. I did a video on, and look how well these begonias are doing. Really growing. I haven't really lost any leaves. I can feel the pot itself is moist, so the water does go through right into the balls there of root balls of the begonias that I've got strapped on there. See that? So it's, you know, doing really well. I put water in this probably about every 4 or 5 days. I don't want to tip it over because the water will come out. But about every 4 or 5 days, I'll fill it up, make sure that it's above the line of where the root ball ends up here. And it's doing great. Loves the humidity out here. This is actually the only time that I have been able to maintain Rex begonias, because in the past, you know, I've tried them inside and they have just, you know, dried up on me and died and withered away, and I just couldn't keep them going. So with this, I'm assured that they get all the water they need, and the humidity, outdoor humidity here in Central Florida, they seem to love, which, speaking of which, it's starting to get up there right now. But these are doing really, really well. I love that. And then I still have, let me put that back very carefully so it doesn't topple over. I still have the other one here that has this little orchid on it, and after I put this moss lining on it, it really started to take off, and it's growing. You can see right there another shoot of the orchid. That's been growing nicely, and this is the first generation of the vert planter, so it has the top, but I fill it up at the same time basically as the other one. But I'm really happy with this one, that this orchid has really doing well and growing a new shoot there. Now another update, remember when I repotted my desert rose? Well, here it is. Now, full disclosure here. It dropped just about every single leaf, and I was worried. I thought, oh my goodness, what have I done to this poor plant? Every leaf fell off, but the arms were still green, and they weren't soft or anything like that. And then little by little, it started growing all these leaves back. In the last couple of weeks, it's really been growing a lot, and it's got some more. There's one, here's one, here's one. I haven't cut any off because I wanted to really grow back a lot of leaves before I start trimming leaves off of it and training it to more of a bonsai look. But the caudix is nice and firm still. I know this is ready for water because I probed it with my moisture meter and it was dry. So I'm going to be watering some plants here at the end of the video. But this desert rose is doing wonderful. The elephant is still there. And no, I haven't gotten any new top dressing for it. I was waiting to see if it would survive, to be honest with you. Yeah. So this one's doing really well. So that was a nice surprise after a little bit of a scare there that it had lost all of its leaves. Now the other one, the last update here, is this Porchidocara Afra variegated bonsai tree that I had potted up, and it's coming along. The variegated Porchidocara Afra is a much slower grower than the regular green one. I knew that, and so this one is, you know, living up to that fact. It is growing some new leaves there. I noticed that it dropped a little new leaf here, but I just popped it back in there thinking maybe it will sprout off in there. But it's surviving, and it's not dead. And so it is getting new leaves. I did find that I had this top dressing. It almost looks like little jelly beans, these little rocks, so I put that on there. And it sits back here also on my potting bench. And it's doing really well. Now I wanted to show you one thing that I am propagating right now. This is, I actually have two, a propagation cutting that I took from my Euphorbia zigzag succulent, that big one that I have down here, because I kept bumping into it every time I'd come out, and it was kind of leaning over, so it was getting really top heavy. I am gonna wait till this, because I just cut it 2 days ago, so I'm still waiting for this to callus over. And once I do that, I am going to put it into a bigger pot, because I've got other cuttings that I've put back into the original pot, and it's getting a little crowded in there. So with these two larger cuttings, it's going to be real crowded. So I am going to put this, another one I've got here, and this one actually, oops, let me grab that. This one actually has a little arm already growing off of it. So, you know, for a euphorbia succulent, it's doing really well out here in the patio. It gets morning sun, but the humidity doesn't seem to bother it. Humidity here doesn't seem to bother any of my cacti or succulents. I think what I'm most careful about for them is water. You know, if there's a storm or something, and, you know, we have a screen here, but sometimes the wind brings in a lot of water, and particularly here on the potting bench, I'll move things back away from the screen so they don't get too much water, because that will kill them, too much water. But the humidity itself, it doesn't seem to be bothering them. So I'll be potting this back up here soon once that finishes callousing over. It's only been a couple of days. Well, there you have it, friends. That is my little update for what's going on in my patio. Lots of things going on. New plants and growing plants and plants that have, you know, made it back from the brink, which is always nice. And I'm really happy with them. Really happy with the way things are going here in the patio. And, you know, I'm looking to add some more things. Always looking for new succulents and cacti to add to my collection. Thanks so much, friends. I appreciate your stopping by today and taking a look at what I have. And with all of your support, I really appreciate that. Make sure that you like the video, share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't subscribed already, friends, I'd appreciate it if you would, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. I'll see you in the next video, friends, okay? Have a blessed day. Bye-bye. I'm going inside because it is hot and humid out here already. Okay, bye.